Are you guys ready?
Good?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm rolling.
What's the first time we're talking about?
Fandoms rolling.
Nice. Okay.
Clap.
Clap for Alaska.
Okay.
I hope people seen that reference.
Okay, now we're singing.
Okay.
Wait, Cora needs to clap once for this camera.
Okay.
Are we ready?
I'll turn this light off. Hold on.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
guys remember, like, in middle school,
Wait,
people
hold on,
clap?
hold on. Okay, are you ready to start?
Ready?
I'm just gonna start this over.
Okay.
Okay. Damn it! Okay.
What? Did you start the audio over? Yeah, we have to clap again.
Okay. You just clap and you're just like.
Oh yeah, you I'm listening.
Okay. Okay. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome, guys, to the 50mm podcast. It's Cora here with you.
Noah. Eric.
T-Dog. Chris.
Jesse.
Christian.
And today we're going to be talking about fandoms, and we're going to be talking about the Oscar picks. So we'll start off with the fandoms. What is the most toxic fandom out there?
There's a bunch of them out there, but if I have to go to the top of my head, I would have to say we would have to talk about the anime in general, not any particular series, but anime fandom in general.
What are you trying to say about anime, my friend? What are you trying to say?
Hey.
Pulls out like a Naruto shirt.
I'm just saying, like, if you look into the fandom, there's a lot of factors into it. One of the major factors that causes such a negative view of anime is the shipping wars, because you have on one side you see the fandoms picking sides of, oh, this character should be with this character, and then when they see somebody who doesn't agree with them, then they start going all out on them. Oh, you suck, saying the whole thing, basically going into a online bully mode.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, I'm just telling you, Sasuke and Naruto is gonna be canon. You just watch. It's gonna happen.
Dude, I'm sorry, dude. I know that series. Basically, it's basically a fluff.
Yeah.
A fluff. That's a fluff. I'm just saying, but again, the shipping, you gotta agree that the shipping
it gets in the way a lot.
It does get away a lot, and also the fact that I think it goes about the same about anything, like whose character is the best. Like let's say, for example, everybody got pissed off because we all saw a particular YouTube show, Superman beat Goku, and everybody's and everybody's like no, that can be, they all go into. So in general, I'm saying anime fandom in general is probably one of the most toxic out there.
Well, even I feel like just the shipping aspect with fandoms is super toxic. Like, I know one of the worst ones that I've seen in recent times is the one with what's Daisy Ridley's character in Star Wars named?
Oh, Rey.
Reylo. Yeah, that one. That's so dumb. Like, that guy is abusive. He kills millions of people and shit like that. He loves Darth Vader, which is terrible.
Yeah, we're talking about Reylo, but what about
He's the perfect
Reylo
bad
as
boy,
Vader?
though.
So I guess
What?
so I guess we transition to Star Wars.
Yeah.
So that Reylo, that's a perfect example. Like, I even looked at him I watched him I'm not even a Star Wars fan. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna step away.
Mm-hmm.
Step away. And I don't really know much more about Star Wars fandom, so can you guys bring up anything, that example?
Just never bring up the prequels ever.
Yeah.
Okay, the prequels, yeah, that's one of them.
Everyone hates Jar Jar Binks.
He was supposed to be a major factor in the prequels.
Really?
Yes, he was.
I like Jar Jar.
I actually do like Jar Jar Binks. I know people give me a lot of shit.
Thank you.
It's just funny. It's so ridiculous.
I stepped in shit, so
That too.
Have you guys seen the what's it called? What's it called? The theory where Jar Jar Binks is a Sith Lord?
That was like the top.
That's what I'm trying to say.
On Reddit.
That's what I'm trying to say. He was supposed to be a big factor.
Mm-hmm.
But anybody else had any examples of the fandoms?
There is one thing. Okay, so as you guys might have known, the Han Solo movie, the teaser, came out recently. And so I would never encourage anybody to do this, but I scrolled down in the YouTube comment section, and the comments were a lot less like, this isn't that good of a teaser, and more like, this is ruining Star Wars, there goes my childhood.
Yeah.
I just think I hate that.
That's the
Oh,
annoying thing with like
exaggerate.
nostalgia fandoms. It's
Yeah.
like they always say like, oh, this new thing is the worst. Oh, this new thing is like gonna ruin the old thing. It's like, no, it's not. It's still there for you.
No,
Just
of
let the
course.
new thing be
Yeah.
its own thing.
I think
Yeah,
another perfect example is the Simpsons fandom, because if you like, I am a fan of the Simpsons, and of course I do not take fondly of the new seasons. But again, the reason why that there's a difference between me and those who say, oh, fuck those, because those new seasons are not for me. They're not for me. My seasons were seasons 1 through 10. Those new seasons are for the new generation. The kids basically growing up with this.
But I think even the writers, like, they said after a certain season that it just wasn't as good. Like, they made it themselves.
Do you?
Well, it's also been going on for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Almost
More
30.
than 20 years.
Maybe
yeah.
30.
It's
Yeah.
really hard to make something that good last that long.
Since you mentioned The Simpsons, I was gonna ask you: There's that certain question about should The Simpsons keep going, like Doctor Who? Do you think it should keep going, or do you think it's time?
You know what?
Very-
After 30 years, I think they're not getting, in my opinion, they're not getting better. I think they should stop at season 30. But it's not up, again, it's not up to me. It's up to Matt Groening. It's up to the basically people on Fox, or in this case, Disney,
Yeah.
who decide whether or not if they want to continue or not. But in my opinion, after season 30, they should completely stop.
No animated fandom's worse than the Rick and Morty one though.
It's
No,
I think
no,
that's the
no,
worst.
no.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
What
No,
else
Rick
is
and Morty.
worse?
Look, I've seen videos of Rick and Morty with that whole Szechuan McDonald's Szechuan sauce.
Szechuan sauce.
Big debacle. I don't see Rick. I'm okay. The Rick and Morty fandom, it's bad, but not to a certain. It's to a certain degree. Like I can agree that it's bad because there's some Rick and Morty fans who think, oh, they have that.
You need a high IQ to
You
watch
have
the
IQ
show.
to basically get the show, or what else? Or
It seemed very inevitable that that fandom was gonna become toxic, because it was a show that everyone would talk about. They just loved how like dark humor and like.
Well, a
oh,
lot
this
of
guy was so
adult
smart.
animated shows like South Park, Family Guy, all of those shows usually have really disgusting fandoms.
But again, you don't see any of their fandoms going out and basically throw a baby tantrum, and when they didn't get their Szechuan sauce.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like that's like the worst animated fandom. What do you think is the worst?
Are you talking about American or Japanese?
Doesn't matter. Worldly.
Okay, two of them. Naruto fandom, and number 2, Steven Universe.
Interesting.
Are people mad at Steven Universe for some reason? Didn't they like
Well,
change
I-
the
like, again,
animating style?
They do a lot. Well, because for one, they're like because one thing was they were pissed that the story wasn't going where they wanted it to, because they were like following the story beats, and they're like, oh, this is gonna happen, and this should happen to this character, and when it didn't happen, they were up in riots. Just like, well, that's just bad storytelling, and like they were just throwing hissy fits.
Like going back to the Naruto fandom. Like remember when the ending happened, a lot of people were so pissed off because there were certain characters that ended up with each other, and then there's certain fandoms that got real pissed off and then started harassing the assistant of the creator on Twitter,
Yeah.
on Reddit, and it basically got to the point where did the creator told them to stop, or what happened?
I don't, because I don't really follow Naruto that much, so I don't really know much about that. But I don't know. But people are gonna get pissed no matter what you do.
They do.
The Naruto fandom, they didn't like the Boruto series.
Oh yeah.
It's still ongoing, right?
Yeah, it's going. I've been trying to keep up. I like it just because I like to see like the characters, how old they
and
are
again,
now.
it also goes back to the Boruto series. He's not the creator. He's not the creator himself. He's just supervising. It's just somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess that's where the fandom's like they don't like it because it's somebody else.
Right.
But what about fandoms that don't have to do with like film or anything? Like there's music fandoms, there's
Of course.
like bronies. Well, I guess that's a show. Is that a show?
No,
Or is that-
Brony is basically a male fan of My Little Pony.
Yeah, those guys.
I can't really say anything about them. I never had a bad experience about them, but I've heard stories.
They're just cringy, if anything. Like, but not
Yeah.
like, I mean, like they're cringy, but like they have their dark sections that I want to go into. But like it's
I
mostly
know.
like
I don't like those fandoms
Yeah.
that like sexualize everything.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, it's not. They're not in your face about it. So I mean, in this weird way, like, do you? I guess
They
but,
just
like,
have strange opinions.
Yeah, they have
It's
like, strange opinions.
They're not being rude about it.
Yeah, and like, yeah, it's kind of gross, but like, they're not throwing it in your face, and they're not like they're keeping it to themselves, which is how it should be if you're into that.
There's also there's a video game fandom that not many people talk about, but it is toxic if you look on the internet, on Tumblr and YouTube. Sonic fans.
The whole like,
Oh,
gaming-
Sonic
God,
fans.
the
Sonic
whole
fans.
gaming, like community is very toxic.
Yeah,
Like, it's
that's
a
one.
problem.
The Sonic fandom is very toxic. You see them drawing their own creations. They even brought up a game to let them here. You want them to create? You like creating your own Sonic character? Here's a video game out there.
Oh,
Make
Forces.
Yeah, Forces.
That
I
should have
was-
been better, but
I was watching a video about Sonic fans, and like they're split into like 3 categories. It's the people who like really like the classic Sonics. There's the people who like the Sonics that came out on like the Wii and stuff, and then the people are like the modern Sonics. And basically they just hate the other one because of these certain reasons. Like modern ones, they're like, oh yeah, we don't like the classic, and the other one because they don't really serve a purpose or whatever. And obviously, the classic ones are more like nostalgia. Boom. That's all I have to say.
I like the classic ones better than any of them.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. That's where I grew up. That's where I grew up. The classic.
There's been good games like every like sprinkled in between here and there, but just people. It's not like. Have you seen that? There's like this tweet I saw, and it was that scene from Courage the Cowardly Dog where like Muriel's a baby and she wants macaroni and cheese.
Oh yeah.
And he has to keep going back, and he's like, "Oh, more macaroni, less cheese, more cheese."
Yeah.
And it was that with Sonic games. At the end, and then you go like the one that everyone likes, and he puts it down and he goes, "Ah, I hate Sonic games." Like I want more
But
of
I
this.
feel like, honestly, I feel like that's the main problem with most fandoms is that everyone feels like they should make the show or movie or music or book or whatever into what they want, and they don't think about all the other millions of people that they're sharing this thing with, and the fact that like they didn't create it, so it's not their thing, and like they just get so caught up in the fact that like these characters should be together and this should happen in this plot. It's like just enjoy it for what it is. It's not your thing. If you want to make something like that, then make your own thing.
Yeah, and then fandoms don't necessarily have to be a bad thing. Like going back to the Sonic thing, like the one before the OC one came out, the Sonic Mania, that was made by like people who really love Sonic, and so they brought people like fan developers to go and like develop the new game that was like the classic ones, and that one was like it was a hit. Everyone really liked that one. So like there can be good people in fandoms. It just sucks that they're overshadowed by like the crazy maniac fans that trash McDonald's.
Well, I feel like one kind of like good fandom is kind of like, I guess kind of good is like the Bayhive one, or like Beyonce.
Oh yeah, 'cause
Like they can
yeah.
be very toxic. Like
No,
they-
I know from experience. I've worked a bunch. I worked more than 4 Beyonce concerts. Both 2 at Dodger Stadium, 2 at Roosevelt. And dude, I worked in the floor level where they're actually the stages there. I give you one example. So I had to pull somebody out because they were down in the right seat, and Beyonce was coming in, and then I said, "Ma'am, you gotta go. This is not your seat." And she yelled in my face, "No, let me see Beyonce before I fucking like fuck, dude."
Oh, that reminded me. I was watching a video. I think it was from the H3 podcast. No, H3 podcast. It was from Ethan, who was saying how like during VidCon, this guy, he's like a vlogger and stuff, and he has like maybe like 1,000 subscribers or followers on Instagram, and he goes in front of the door, and there's a security guard in front of the door saying like, "You guys can't pass." Yeah, he's like, "You guys can't pass," and this guy's really like, he's being really rude. He's like, "Oh, I'm more popular than you. I'm much more prettier than you," and all that stuff.
I know that guy. He's my friend. He's one of my coworkers.
Really?
Yes.
And eventually,
He got popular.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
He
they
got
switched.
super popular. It was funny.
And you know what? Fuck that guy who said, to my coworker.
like the YouTube.
The
Fandom.
YouTube.
Oh,
Oh, dear
God.
God.
He's the worst.
PewDiePie. Logan Paul.
Jake Paul, all the Pauls.
All the Pauls.
Aaron Paul. No, I'm kidding.
No, that's funny. Like when the Logan Paul thing happened, Aaron Paul called him out, and all like the news people that were like doing it, they were like, "Aaron Paul, not associated with Logan Paul," called him out.
No, but also everybody got pissed off about the suicide video. But also at the same time, when you look at Logan Paul's fandoms, They still defend him.
I know, like Philip DeFranco was talking about it. Like this, everything that's happened to Logan Paul has not hurt him. Like he's gotten more subscribers. People haven't left him. They've been defending him. Like this is just publicity for him.
And then like he came back, and then like because he made another video where he tased the dead rat.
Yeah.
And then like YouTube like finally cut all his ad revenue.
It was like
yeah, like but after
like that's bad for him, but it's like his fame is just fucking.
yeah, like he's at the point where like he's on a pedestal now. Like all these, he's influencing all these like stupid ass kids now, and they're all following him and they're dabbing on the haters. And, like yeah, I did that.
How do you even dab on the haters?
You-
What does that entail?
I don't know. Like I've just seen videos of them like like freaking out with their parents like where. Like I would have got hit if I was acting up like that. Like
Yeah.
You know what? Everybody expected Logan Paul to be to what happened with him, what happened with PewDiePie. You know, but that didn't happen. I think that's why everybody got pissed off about it.
But yeah, nothing happened to PewDiePie either. I mean, yeah, he was under fire, but now no one talks about it anymore.
No.
Yeah, I mean, like I feel like with Logan Paul and PewDiePie and all those people, like they've gotten hit in their wallets, but they haven't gotten hit with their fame. And like to me,
And that's
being famous is more important to them than
and that's
the
one of the
wallets.
problems with the fandoms is that, you know, no matter what they do, no matter what the person or the show does, you know, even if it comes at a negative light, they still will. Even though they say, "Oh, fuck, I'm not going to, you know, follow you anymore," they'll eventually will come back to that certain thing.
Yeah, I mean, like Logan Paul did a video where he like pretended that he got murdered in front of his fans.
I saw that.
So I
That
feel
was
like
insane.
after that, if you still like him, then that's your own can of worms.
In
like,
a way,
I don't know.
the Paul brothers are like the new Kardashians. If you think about it, it's like they're not
I
part.
think the Kardashians are better.
Okay, but in the sense of like, they're not really related or relevant to your life, but for some reason they still come somewhere out of media. People always are going to be talking about it, like, hey, did you hear the Logan Paul video? Hey, did you hear about the reaction people are saying? It's still this keep rolling and rolling conversation, and eventually people are just gonna.
But and also like besides the Logan Paul and PewDiePie, those are the YouTube fandoms right there. But what else? What other fandoms do you guys think that would would that come out the top of your head and think, okay, that's almost bad or it's positive? Like anybody?
Positive fandom.
Like positive fandom, yeah.
Well, as long as you don't bring up the movie adaptation, I think the Avatar fans are.
Yeah, the Avatar fans are
They're
pretty
pretty.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Pretty positive.
they're pretty positive.
And like even the ones who were against the movie, it's like their gripes were like they had a point. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't just like, oh, I hate this because it's not my vision. Like no, there were many reasons
Like,
why
yeah,
you
of
should
course,
like
there was
that
a lot.
movie.
There's a lot of problems with that movie.
Mhm.
Like,
The writing, CGI.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's like people like the people who like talked about it for the most part actually analyzed it and they like went through it and said like this is what's wrong with it. This is why the series is better. It's like it's just that whole fandom just seems more positive. They don't seem like just trying to like down everyone who doesn't like it.
Well, do you think? Well, I mean, I haven't seen Legend of Korra yet. I just finished watching Avatar Last Airbender with. I was just showing my little brother the series since he hadn't seen Avatar, and so Avatar is the show that like it teaches people, especially kids, how to be like how to be better people.
Mhm.
So you think that kind of like crossover, like that's how like and active
Yeah.
fans like.
That it did. When you got a series that's very positive, like with Action Cab, it will give a positive influence to fans.
Yeah.
I bring that up because as like a contrast to Rick and Morty, since the toxic fans who like say I'm Pickle Rick, like you have to have a high IQ to really understand.
Yeah.
So
Like,
you
I
think
like
that
Rick and
maybe
Morty and there's no way I have a high IQ. I
you
get the
think that
jokes.
maybe like some. I'm not saying like it's kind of like it makes everyone who watches it do you think Rick and Morty might since it has especially the character Rick might have an influence on he's like how toxic these fans are?
Well, I feel like it does because a lot of people look at Rick and they're like, oh, like that's who I am. That's who I'm like.
They look at him as a god. Like
yeah,
a
and
god.
it's like that's not the point of him. He's supposed to be a terrible, like irredeemable character because he like puts Morty in all these terrible situations that could get him killed and stuff, and he like drinks a lot, and he cusses a lot, he doesn't care about people for the most part. It's like he's not like a redeemable character in the point where it's like you should idolize him, but people do because they find him funny.
They're becoming the people that like the point of Rick is to make fun of like. Those,
yeah.
Like they're becoming what Rick like makes fun of and when he talks trash about.
Yeah,
like he's supposed to be a horrible Doc Brown, but people look at him and look at him like they look at Doc Brown. They're not the same person. Like you shouldn't do that. But it makes a lot
Have
of
you seen
people
the
like
original
want to be angry.
the pilot for Rick and Morty, the Doc and Marty cartoon?
Oh man.
Oh, that's even worse.
If watch that and then tell me that Rick and Doc Brown are the same person because they're not.
Do you know the origin behind that?
No, I just seen the story and I'm just like, what the hell?
Did you hear about the Bill Cosby one? So he, Justin Roland, I think he made some, like a Bill Cosby, whatever. He made that video, and he was, I think, gonna get sued or like some legal stuff happened. So he got pretty upset, and so he started making the Doc and Marty, and then eventually Rick and Morty. Yeah. It's pretty funny.
I mean, like I said, I like that show, but I understand.
Yeah.
Like there are people who get mad at the show for the fandom. I don't think that's fair because it's not the creator's fault.
Yeah.
Like all the creators have said, please stop.
There's some certain degree WWE fans or pro wrestling fans in general. If they see something that the WWE doesn't, puts out, like for instance, most majority of the fans disagree on who's the next big superstar. For WWE, they think it's Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
But the fans, who they call the WWE Universe for some reason, they disagree and they boo this guy. Even though they boo this guy, they still put him at a certain pedestal. And then you would get these Saints fans saying like, "Oh, fuck this! I don't want to see this anymore. I'm leaving. I'm going somewhere else to watch." But eventually, like I said before, they come back. They buy the tickets. They go to the shows. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like even though you're mad at the creator, for doing something that you don't agree with, you eventually will come back.
Yeah. Because you just love it so much.
Mm-hmm.
Which with situations like that, sometimes the creator needs to listen to the fandom. Not necessarily that situation specifically, but sometimes creators don't always know what's best. But most of the time, fandoms don't know what's the best thing.
What do you think is a perfect example of that?
For that, and my Shyamalan with The Last Airbender.
I think the creators of that series, I think The Legend of Korra was an apology to the fans for that movie.
Really?
That's what
I don't know, because certain aspects of Korra got people mad too.
It got political, right?
Yeah, it got really political. But I don't want to go into because it's spoilers. Because
I haven't seen it yet.
Spoiler!
Spoilers.
I've seen the first season, and second, it gets really political, and it's kind of preachy at points. But not too bad, but you can draw parallels.
Let's put it this way: people prefer Aang over Korra.
Yeah. Well, here, before we close out this podcast, what do you guys think could improve fandoms, as a whole?
There's a show called The 100 on CW.
Yeah.
And they killed off the only gay character on the show. I think it was in season 2, the end of, or maybe even season 3. And I remember there's this huge thing on Facebook where everyone was accusing the writers of being homophobic, which clearly they weren't. If you were watching the show, there was obviously foreshadowing and stuff, and the character just was destined to die anyway. I mean, she didn't have any story arc after that. So it's kind of interesting to think we as people have this, we think the writers are purposely putting these messages in the show, but maybe they're not.
Yeah. Well, one way fandoms could be better is if they just accepted things for how they are. Just accepted that your couple didn't get shipped, or somebody died, you have to live with it, those kind of things, and stop yelling at the creators. Because everyone that's in the film industry or the book industry or anything, they're people too. It's not they're gods deciding fate. It's just this is their story, this is their work. It's not for you to decide what happens to it.
And you know what? It's okay for looking at characters as your inspiration, but don't put them at a pedestal. Don't put them at a pedestal.
Because they're not
Yeah.
real people.
They're just creations, but at the same time, yes, you are. If you're inspired by, I'm not gonna say any character's name, but you're inspired by a character, then that's fine. But at the same time, don't put that character high in a pedestal.
Yeah.
Because eventually you're not gonna live. You realize you will not live up to that character's, ideals, and next thing you know, you become better and you become something. You become the stereotype that everybody sees. Better, saying nasty things to other people.
Yeah. I feel like another thing that could make fandoms better is if they accepted that, like I said, like, everyone that's making all this stuff is people too, so they have flaws. So, like, especially with the YouTube fandoms, like, understand that when someone does something wrong, you can still love them, but call them out for it. Like, don't just let things, like, pass by because you love that person and you think they can't do anything wrong. Like, call out PewDiePie, call out Logan Paul, all of them. Like, it's not like they don't deserve it.
I think people should get their head out of their asses. Like,
It's gonna be a little nicer.
well, like, it's okay to be mad. Like, if something happens in a show you don't like, that's fair. Like, if it goes a certain direction you don't like, that's fair. But, like, don't go out and attack the people who wrote that or decided to go that way, because you're not in control of it.
Mm-hmm.
If you think you could do it better, then go and do it. Like,
Do something.
yeah, like, what are you doing except, like, sitting behind a screen and arguing about it or complaining about it? So, like,
Be like Lucas, he got mad in movies, so now he's doing a career with film.
Yeah.
so it's okay to have opinions. Believe it or not, you can have opinions in America.
I don't like opinions.
We don't like opinions, we're neutral here.
So, I mean, you can have your opinions, but just be open to everyone else's too.
And also, don't be a troll about it.
Yeah.
Don't-
Oh, I hate trolls. It's so
Don't be.
annoying.
Don't,
I hate that term.
Don't be such a negative person. If you didn't get your way, like she said, if you didn't get the couple that you wanted, you didn't get the way they show, that's fine. Accept it and just move on. Don't sit down and let that fester you. Because eventually you become somebody that you laughed at one point, which is a troll.
To be honest, I think there's two type of trolls. The one that's like satirical, where it's like that they're making this stuff up, and they're having a kind of, in a way, satirical point. And then there's the ones that are just more like they just want to be instigators.
I feel like that's like at the satirical point though. That's not really a troll, because to me a troll is just someone who's trying to mess with someone's creation, like really annoyingly. Like those people who like try to downvote movies for one reason or another, usually a racist or sexist reason. But those are like the trolls to me. If they're making it satirical, I kind of just look at them more like they're just making a joke.
Like
I don't know what the term for that would be.
Do you know of a comedian called Ken M?
No.
He's this dude who he got pretty mad when I think he was like in a forum and like he was talking about something and he commented and he realized how like narrow-minded these people were, like a fandom in a way.
Yeah.
And so he realized that some people aren't going to understand other people's points. So he became, in a way, a satirical troll, where he has a profile picture of an old man, and he always says some like stuff where, if you see it, you'd be like, he's joking. He's like clearly joking. But some people kind of like, whoosh.
Yeah.
They don't understand.
Well, we are out of time, so we're going to take a quick break, do some announcements, and then we'll come back to it. So, for the announcements, these announcements are just for the 50mm